Okay, salesperson's tendency is to do what when they get on the phone?
Talk.
Yeah. And what does selling mean, right? It means talking. Okay, and are most of those people talking less or more than the client? More, right? When I start, what's funny is you thought less, but when I listen to audio recordings, it's still more for most people, right? Well, that's true for salespeople around the world, right? Like we'll have, I don't know, a few million insurance agents like watch our YouTube channel this year from across the globe, and majority will be insurance agents. They won't all be insurance agents though. Like I had a lady walk up to me in Florida, and she was like, "Man, dude, I'm in a different industry. Like, why don't what you teach and what you do could be universal for business, you know?" I'm like, yeah, but like that's just who we help right now, right? It's insurance. Is that gonna be the same forever? I don't know. But right now we help insurance agents. However, what you notice, if you think through like, okay, the average person, what does the average salesperson struggle with? If you think about it for a quick second, what does the average salesperson struggle with? Listening. Okay, good. Listening. I'm changing it up on Dylan, but he's improvising on the fly. Do you see that, man? You know what I mean? And how often do we have to improvise on the fly when we're selling? Dude, quite a bit, right? Quite a bit. Okay, so the average salesperson struggles with listening. And what are some of the tools that we've shared, or some things we've talked about to help someone be able to talk less and listen more?
Open-ended questions.
Questions, open-ended, maybe repeating a word that they gave you, right? Like, Jonah, how's your morning been so far?
Pretty good.
What do you mean by pretty good? Right, boom, that gets him to talk more. Would you agree? Right? It ain't hard, it ain't rocket science. It's pretty simple, right? But if we struggle, but listening, yes, most people struggle with listening. Okay, what else do most salespeople struggle with?
Over-talking or over-explaining, selling past the sell.
Yeah, they struggle with talking too much, right? That happens. That's probably the one that I see the most and that irritates me the most, because I know that it's not going to result in, it's rarely going to result in success. Like, I just see it, you just know it. Marquise has been in sales for a minute. He even said yesterday after like his very first call, he came to Devin, he's like, bro, I just talked too much. I got nervous and I just over-talked. I don't know what the freak I was doing, right? That's good. Now, is it good? No, but is it great that he recognized it super quick? Because we've had plenty of salespeople over the years that like, they talk too much, and dude, it would take them 7 years to recognize it, right? He's recognized on the first call. That's good, okay? Talk too much. Okay, great. What are some of the things that we've talked about and the tools that we've given Justin to help with this?
Talking too much?
Yeah. Did you feel like you used to struggle with this a little?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. What's interesting is I don't think he did, but when you say like, hey, did you used to struggle with this a little? They're like, maybe I did a little, right? I don't think he did. But however, what's some of the stuff that we've talked about or that we've shared or helped with to improve this in you or anybody else?
Just ask them questions and let them talk.
Okay, asking questions, letting them talk. Joey, what else?
Power of pauses. Understanding that sometimes a pause is the most influential word in a sentence has really helped us like slow down.
Good. I mentioned this last week, or maybe the week before, but most people that present, it's like, I'll give you an example. I'm going to present at Jesse Weiser's office for his growth series tomorrow. And no matter what the other people did, like, I know what I'm going to do, right? Well, what's interesting about that is most people, when they're new to presenting or they're new to speaking, they typically, okay, so if you were going to get on stage, what would you build or put together to go speak on stage?
Speech.
Okay, speech, script,
Bullet points.
bullet points, and where would that live? If it's at church, it'd be on an iPad. If it was a conference, it'd be on a PowerPoint, a screen, right? What's that? Okay, what in that example, should we put more text or less text on the slide? Less? Okay. So if but what do most people that are new to speaking do? They put more. And then when you have more on a slide, what do you end up doing because you have more on the slide? More mistakes over talking. Talking too fast. You start running out of time and you've got 17 more slides to go. Like we had somebody that spoke at the conference. They were like, I've got 138 slides. I'm like, no, they don't. Not anymore because I just deleted half of them. Congratulations, right? But in that example, like, am I going to read? Am I going to read more? If I've got more text. Yeah, but do I want to read more? No, right? I don't. That's one of the biggest things people do. Well, what Jonah saw me trying to improve at when I was in Canada was the power of pausing and slowing down. And, dude, we need stuff to breathe. Because again, the more information we give them, the less likely they are to move forward. It's totally opposite. I get it. I'm just telling you. Like I was listening to some Jim Rohn stuff this morning, super old school, right? And what happens is most of the time, when we think about talking too much, we don't let stuff breathe. And we think, here's another thing that people struggle with, is they give too much info. And people that are on YouTube that are brand new, they're gonna be like, I don't agree with you. Perfect, please tell me in comments below. But like I'm telling you initially, dude, it does not help anybody move forward, right? Giving too much information out. What does more information do to your brain? Okay, it overwhelms it. Okay, good. Okay, if more information overwhelms your brain, does getting overwhelmed or getting too much information make you want to move forward or backwards?
Backward.
Okay, so then you're going in reverse, right? You're going the wrong direction. Okay, good. So what should we be doing so that they actually feel comfortable moving forward? Because what's the goal when you talk to someone? When you're actually talking to them? Okay. Do we want to close everyone? Okay, so if you can't help them, do you want to close them? Correct. If we don't think what we do can help them, do we want to close them? No. Okay, good. But what do most people think we should do? They think we should just freaking close everybody, right? Well, guess what? When I'm selling Final Expense, if I knew somebody had $12 and they had no money every month, like, why would I sell that? Why would I sell that? Why would I cram something down somebody's throat and, you know what I mean, get a chargeback, right? Well, same thing for y'all. Like, dude, if the person's, now can we help them? Can they make money? Yes. But if they're brand new, no experience, no skill, and they have no money, we're trying to help them, but if they suck, does it help them or hurt them? It hurts them because they freaking lose confidence. But if they realize they suck and they get better, then it helped them. But how many people blame themselves and realize, oh, I need to get better, and now they play the victim, right? They just play the victim, right? Like I was telling this weekend, I was telling the room, I don't think I told you guys this yet. Did I tell you about how I got in the car on the way to church and Lauren told me I stunk? Did I tell you that part yet? I didn't? Oh yeah, you heard this at the road show. She told you. What the freak is she doing, man? Okay, so I got in the car on the way to church the other day, and she's like, what's that smell? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, Cody, you stink. I'm like, okay. I'm like sniffing around everything. I'm like, oh, it's my pants. Like I wore them multiple times last week and I just threw them back on again for Sunday. She's like, yeah, that's your pants. We gotta start washing your clothes. You can't do that. I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Okay, cool. Well, we'll figure it out later. Well, you know what she said? She's like, you know what the old Cody would have done? When I said you stunk.
Went home and changed the pants.
Got defensive. Now, I always want to go change, right? But I would have got defensive. She said, the old Cody would have got defensive. She said, you can tell you're growing because you didn't get defensive at all. Or try to sell the smell, right? Which, yes, I normally do. Try to twist my way out of like everything, right? It's hard not to do. But in that example, like, dude, why would I get defensive, right? Well, most salespeople, did they get defensive? When they suck. They blame others for their failures, right? They don't accept any accountability or responsibility and they play the victim. Right? Like there's a whole laundry list of things that most of people do when they're not finding success. Because dude, this place in the world should prove to us that if somebody else is winning, dude, I can too. Right? I can too. If somebody else is winning, I can too. Well, if most of those people are getting defensive, placing blame, becoming a victim, not accepting responsibility, having moments where they just think smaller about themselves because they're not winning and not doing well, then guess what? Dude, it's not that hard to stand out, right? I can tell you this, dude. If I love Marquise so far, but dude, if he struggles and never sells a thing, was it us or was it him? Maybe both, but it definitely was partially him. Would you agree? For sure, right? Right? Because dude, you could say, well, heck, Manish struggled for a few weeks when he first started.
I think I need a lot of helping hands.
He's struggling no more. Would you agree? Like, he's doing great. Dude, I didn't think David would be doing as well as he is. Dude, that's more on me than David. Because David believed he could, and he is, right? And he would, right? Never thought Justin Wynn would come back. He experienced the real world, and he's like, we're like, welcome home. You know, we gave him a hug and kissed him on the cheek, and, that was it. You know what I mean? Okay? All right. Do we want to be an average salesperson, or do we want to get really good at this thing? Well, the more you talk, the more information you give, the less you listen, and the more you over-explain, the worse you will be, right? We talk about this a bunch. But I believe as a company, we can grow the most in this area this year. That's what I believe, right? And I ask a couple of you, and you would agree, even though that's not like your first instinct to say that. But I'm telling you, we can still grow a bunch in this. And the cool thing is, Dayton is back. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Dayton is back. Dude, he went through a funk for a second. Dude, he did $9,000 last week. And he wasn't even proud of that. Is that fair? We're back, baby. We're back. And the cool thing is, dude, if anybody's ever in a funk, we got their back. And we're going to help them back. And maybe Justin Wynn will finally get it together and prove what he can do this year, because I think he's still holding back. You know what I mean?
9K yesterday.
Right? 9K yesterday. Welcome back. Welcome back. But he's doing what Dayton does in a week, he does in a day. And what he does in a day, Jonah does in an hour sometimes. Right? So just like boom, it's up, and then sometimes freaking Landon will pop something, and then boom, it'll be in a minute. Right? You guys ever heard the old dentist story? Real quick, closing story. Okay, this is funny. I told it to the roadshow for the first time ever. There was a dentist a long time ago, and a guy came in and said, "Hey, I need my tooth pulled. It's really killing me. It's hurting me. I need my tooth pulled immediately." He's like, "Okay, cool." The guy's like, "How much will it be?" The guy's like, "We can squeeze you in, no big deal." "How much will it be?" $150. He's like, $150 to pull a flipping tooth, man? That's insane. How long does it take? He's like, 1 minute. He's like, $150 a minute? You make $150 a minute? That's stupid. He's like, well, if it's the amount of time you're worried about, we can take all the time you would like. Guess what? When somebody else is making $150 in a minute, doing $9,000 in a day, so can we. Happy Tuesday.